This is it in a nutshell. It's just they could consider it a useful tool for anti-racism movement. It's like basically it's like we're just going to shame white people into not being racist.
Yeah,
and it's such not understanding how that works.
Well, that probably does work on a personal level. It doesn't work as far as elections go.
It works
obviously.
on liberals who have that S&M thing of like, yes, I'm white, hit me. It doesn't work on these people who already hate themselves and they feel less than already. And for you to talk down to them, they're racist out of self-hatred.
Yeah.
So you can't shame them. All you're doing is making them prouder of their fucking shit.
Yeah.
That's not the way to go about it. You actually do have to try to reason with people and talk to them. I love calling conservatives stupid, but I don't try to suppress them from talking.
Yeah.
And all that and that's the whole TV and all that, like, that one eyebrow raised, little condescending, shitty liberal nerd thing. Everybody got real sick of that. And that's why they wanted this guy who's going to hang
But
up
don't
their
you
underwear.
think that it was like more about like she was like some girl that did all her homework and like asked if there was like this was going to be on the test and
Well, she
sat in
didn't
the
do all
front
her
row.
Well, that's
And,
certainly
like,
that
She's like
personality.
just
I'll
an
tell you,
annoying.
but
she's
there's
just
also
an-
the fact that she sucks for real on every level.
It's like the movie Election.
Here's
right?
why she didn't win.
You seen
The
that
Tracy
movie
Flick
Election?
thing for sure.
Tracy Flick for sure. No one likes like the fucking try hard.
Well, that's why you don't run.
especially
Right.
women.
No one's ever elected
right?
her to anything. Number one, except in New York, they elected her senator because if you love her, it's because you love that a certain type of person hates her. The end.
And Trump appealed to enough people effectively.
Yeah, well, you could say the
Well,
same
what's
thing.
the
You could say the
difference? I'm
same
with
thing
her.
about Trump. You could say the same exact thing about Trump. Is that people like him because
That's
other
right.
people hate him.
So that was already
and there, there's all this like analysis about whether it was racism was a motivating factor, and a lot of people say no, it wasn't that. Is it because there was too much emphasis on
Well,
identity
definitely some of
politics,
that, for sure.
or ignoring? Yeah, sure, it's a lot of things. But when you talk to the average Trump voter, because I have family that voted for Trump, the family that ratted me out to the FBI, by the way,
They should have.
and they just go, I just like him. They just say, I just think he's great.
Yeah.
And they don't
Yeah.
put any more thought into it than that. That's
Well,
it.
they are, but they don't want to tell you. They don't. First of all, Republicans hate politics. Hillary's thing of "I'm with her"
Yeah.
was so stupid because that's not how these people want their fucking government to be. I'm with her. Trump, when he would give a speech, is like he made fun of that. He's like, "No, I'm with you."
Yeah.
Trump's a blank for them to project all their bullshit onto.
Yeah.
And Hillary, and that's how lefties always want like a lead. They always want like a Castro leader. Okay, it's always I don't know why the yin and yang is like they want cops to be their employee. Like, shut up, cops, you're my employee, and they want government to be like the Obama, I leadership and hope. And then Republicans the opposite. They treat cops like they're fucking you're not to even question a cop.
Yeah.
Politicians are beneath them and are an employee. That's why they'd want a guy like Trump over someone like Hillary.
Yeah.
They don't like that shit because they're deathly afraid of any kind of this is how it's going to be government.
Yeah.
Where they don't get a say. They're terrified of that, and Hillary just oozed that, and these fucking liberals seem to. I mean, I remember when I went to go see Borat in the theater a long time ago in Brooklyn.
Great movie, by the way. Shout out Borat. It's been
This kid had a
absolutely ruined by.
He looked like Adam had a shirt that said "Jon Stewart is God" on it.
Yeah.
Which I mean,
It said Jon Stewart is gay.
no, God. Which he clearly made himself.
Yeah.
And it's just like, that whole fucking that just repulses them to no end every time in the country and every other, whoever voted for Trump hates that. Plus the hypocrisy of, it's not just, Hillary, first of all, she was so qualified. Why was she qualified?
Well, that's what I'm not prepared for is the fucking hubris of comedy at large, where they think that Trump got elected, now it's time for the comedians
That's the problem,
to fix this.
is
And
that
it's
the-
like, shut the fuck up.
That was the problem the whole time. is that they thought the comedians were supposed to be
no,
president.
man.
Yeah.
During the worst part of the Bush years, like 2006, 2007, during the insurgency, Jon Stewart was great. That show was great. It was, I mean that. Just as a piece of comedy programming, it was a great show.
Right.
And I don't think anything's gonna come
Well, the
close to that.
correspondents were better too then.
Yeah.
That's when you had like Carell and fucking.
But that was like John's show, and that was
Right.
the peak of that show, and there's no way to get back to that.
It's a really
place.
hard job
Yeah.
to do that every night.
Of course, it was a fucking masterpiece.
Yeah, yeah.
It was like, and that's, we have these like great things that happen in entertainment. It would be like if Mozart died and they're like, we got a black guy to replace him.
Yeah.
And he's just fucking up the piano. And it was like, I don't know.
Dude,
It's
that
just as
fucking
good.
affirmative action hire shit. That's where Hillary's so qualified. All these people are old enough to remember what the fuck Clinton did. Like, Trump, I heard people saying Trump's a rapist. Like, the way they would hysterically talk about Trump. The actual shit he said is bad enough without dressing it up. His whole thing about Mexicans are rapists. He was talking about illegals, whether he worded it right or not. That's what he was talking about was illegals. Now, the liberals reporting on it, they can't say illegal. They have to say undocumented. But that little worminess of not saying illegal, saying undocumented.
Yeah.
And I remember when they changed it officially, I watched one of them. They go, well, people don't like illegal.
Yeah.
You know, so we're gonna say undocumented. Like, okay, so now rape is surprise sex, and what is that? Does that fix rape?
Yeah.
So they did that. So that's wormy. That's egghead shit that these people despise. Then they're making out that Trump said all Mexicans, which it's not what he was saying. But what he said was bad enough. Like, illegals are not all rapists. You could have focused on it, but then people don't believe you when you start throwing in other shit about him, and then they don't trust you. Meanwhile, Clinton is a rapist. Right? If you're going to accept the evidence of Trump is a rapist, Clinton's definitely a rapist.
Sure. Wait, who's she raped?
She helped fucking destroy the women that accused her husband.
She raped and murdered children through the Comet Ping Pong Pizza restaurant.
Not that. When those women said Clinton raped them, Hillary was in on trying to suppress those women. If you believe,
where do you stand on
her?
Where do you stand on Pizzagate, by the way?
I don't know what that is.
So, okay, in one of the Podesta emails, there was an email that was like, "Hey John, I found a GIF with a map on the back that looks pizza related. Not sure if this is yours or not. Disregard if so." Nobody knows.
It's nothing.
They
It's
started
like
digging.
Who did?
The alt-right, the Nazis.
Well,
the Pepe Frog.
It don't matter.
Very
all right.
respectable people on Reddit who do solid investigative work. And so pizza is apparently it's a code word for satanic rituals where you rape and murder children. And the entire Democratic establishment has this, you know that because
child sex.
It's a child sex ring.
Yeah.
And there's all this evidence, like, you know, the email I just mentioned.
Is that
to
like
you.
Alex Jones?
Also,
people
I feel
saying
kinda.
that
They're all the same.
Yeah, never mind that shit. I'm talking about the actual shit that Clinton
Hold
did.
on, I love this conspiracy theory.
Well,
This is the fun. It's the funniest thing in the fucking world.
So that's a child sex ring.
Yeah, it's a child
Run
sex
out
ring.
of a pizza restaurant
called.
Really?